Let's do this. Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me for a contest prep Q&A. I am incredibly excited to be here today to talk with you about this. So if you guys don't know me already, I'll just do a quick intro. We don't need to go too deep into it, but my name is Danny. Uh, I was a women's physique, oh, somebody no, maybe that was me. Okay. So my name is Danny. I was a women's physique competitor for years. My biggest titles were second place at the Olympia and second place at the Arnold Classic. So I almost was Miss Olympia, but not quite. Yeah, I absolutely loved bodybuilding. I started when I was 15 in high school. If you can imagine, yes, they did have bodybuilding shows in high school. And my last show was when I was 27. And now I've been taking on a very exciting new purpose and new role in my life. And that is basic contest prep. I don't want to say coach because I'm not actually writing macros and training, but I'm teaching you how to connect your mind, body, and soul to contest prep. Because a lot of us, we're so externally focused on our bodies, right? Like how lean are we? How hard are we? Are we getting bigger? Are we getting leaner? All of that stuff. But I'm going to teach you how to get connected to a very healthy mindset, and bodybuilding, as I think we all know, can go both ways very quickly. And I also want to teach you how to gain a little bit of a spiritual connection as well. And I can just tell you from personal experience, this sport can be the most beautiful teacher. It can be the most exciting thing and so much personal development if you let it. So that's just my little spiel and kind of where I'm at with contest prep and everything like that. So I don't know if you guys know how Zoom works, but you can just type in the chat if you have any questions or if anything comes up for you, or just unmute yourself. There's not a ton of us today, so I think everybody will get a chance to talk if you want to. But just to kick us off, I did take some questions from Instagram, Facebook, all of that stuff. And okay, so the first thing that I want to touch on, this one's from Instagram, and I thought this was such an important question, and it has to do with the comparison game. So do you guys compare yourself to other competitors? Maybe even who won the show that you're competing in last year? Or maybe are you comparing yourself to competitors that you have no business comparing yourself to yet? Like, are you at your second show and you're already comparing yourself to people on the Olympia stage? And let me just tell you, that's a quick way for big fat doubt and fear, because the truth is you're not there yet. If you're in your first show, you need to be comparing yourself to people who are qualifying for nationals, not people who are nationally qualified going for their pro card. So comparison, I think, can really get us down when we go too far too fast and we're way out of our own league. And then, that can get really nasty. But comparison, even if you're comparing yourself to people who are competing in the same show as you, think about that. So the question was how to stop comparing yourself to other people. And I mean, the easy question or the easy answer is stop. Stop looking at your competitors, plain and simple. Do not look at what they're doing. Do not look at what they're training, who their coaches are, who their sponsors are. Literally, it does nothing for you and your competition but bad vibe you. And it bad vibes you in two ways. Number one, when you look at another competitor and you look at them and how shredded they are, and of course, all you do is pick out all their best body parts and all your worst body parts. So number one, okay, sorry, I just wanted to check and see who is in the chat. So number one, stop comparing yourself because you're giving your competitors your energy. Think about that. You are giving them your energy. And when you give them your energy, you feed their dream, not yours. And you take energy away from you, because immediately what happens? Oh my gosh, she looks better than me. Her glutes are so much tighter. Her abs look so much better. Like, how does that help you in any way at all? It doesn't. In fact, it brings you negative, it brings you way down, because guess what happens when we start to feel fear and we start to feel doubt? We go cheat on our diet. We skip out on a cardio session. We don't do things that make us win because we're already defeating ourselves in our own mind. And the second way that comparison bad vibes you, and that is even if the person looks better than you, right? Let's say, or no, I'm sorry. Even if you look better than the person and you look at them and you're like, that's what she looks like, and she's been doing cardio and dieting. Like, think about that mindset. That is really shitty for you to be thinking like that, to be thinking, oh, I look so much better than her. Well, guess what? When you show up on show day, that might not be the case. So for you to even have this cocky, arrogant attitude when comparing yourself is still a recipe for disaster and like bad vibrations. So comparison has no spot in your life, especially as a competitor, whether you're powerlifting, CrossFit, even in business. Comparing yourself to anybody else is literally just giving them your energy. And guess what? The only person, especially during contest prep, who deserves to have your energy is you. So plain and simple, stop following everybody that you're competing against. And I told this to my conscious champion last go around, but I unfollowed everybody that I was competing against, even everybody that looked good, because all it did was freak me out. So like at the Olympia, I unfollowed everybody. I didn't even look at who was on the roster because it doesn't matter. I just had somebody check and make sure that I was on the roster, and then I was registered for the Olympia, and I didn't find out who I was competing against until I got there. When you can't be nervous because guess what? You're on stage tomorrow. So I left myself no room for nerves or bad vibes or anything like that. So long answer, but comparison is so big in our industry that I just really want to just dig it out of you and throw it out. Like just throw it out, just unfollow everybody. That's what I have to say about that. Ow. Oh, you can't hear me. Shoot, Al, I'll send it to you for sure. Okay. So second question, and you guys, if you have questions, post them in the chat. I'll get to them. I have a couple in the works, but if anything comes up for you, let me know. So I got an email earlier and they were asking about the hardest part of my training. So she was a new competitor, brand new, getting ready for her first show. So doesn't really know exactly what to expect yet. I would say the hardest part of my training was my mental state. It's easy to diet. It's easy to train, right? Like we do that with our eyes closed. We can do cardio, we can train till we're blue in the face. But like the mental aspect of that and like the mental aspect of sticking to your diet and keeping your nerves and your anxiety at bay, I think that is the hardest part of anybody's competition career. Because if your mindset is good and you're dead tired and you have no food and a bunch of cardio to do, your mindset will carry you through. So when your body won't. So if you can master your mind, you will master everything else. Super easy. And that's what I love to teach in my masterclass is mindset training. Okay. So how did I overcome struggles? This one I was really thinking about because there's many different struggles in contest prep. Like I said, the comparison game, doubting yourself, being lazy, cheating on your diet. There is a billion different struggles. And I think the only way to overcome them is to go through them and is to face them. So if you are struggling on your diet, really dig deep into yourself and figure out, why am I struggling on my diet? Why am I self-sabotaging? Because if you're self-sabotaging, that might be like a self-worth type thing. So I just really encourage, if you're struggling with your workouts, I think the only way to do it is to push through, because on the other side of that is going to be all of the lessons. And you're also going to see that your struggles really aren't that bad. Like your struggles really, maybe they're struggly in the moment. But I think as a whole, I don't think you're going to die during contest prep. Like that's just not how it goes. So I think, the struggles are sometimes when we let our moment be bigger than our dream. And I think that's when we really get screwed up with our struggles. Yes, is when the moment is bigger than the dream. So places where your moment is bigger than your dream, when you're in the grocery store and you're checking out and you are looking at a candy aisle and you're like, what if I just had one Reese cup? And nobody knew, and I just threw out the rest. Well, in that moment, that Reese cup is bigger than your dream of being on stage. So I think the struggle part is when we get too caught in the struggle of the moment. Yes. Okay. The next question I have is, and I love this question so much, what does it take to be a champion? I thought you'd never ask. Maybe it's because it was on my post and I have that. So for me, what it takes to be a champion is not just a strong body. I think everybody on stage has a super strong body and a lot of discipline. So for me, that is not what it takes to be a champion. For me, to be a champion, it means like absolute flow. in the moment, super strong mindset, and just being almost in a meditative state as you're doing your cardio, as you're doing your training, as you're cooking meals. The whole thing is a damn meditation if you let it be. Listening to your posing song, so be like super connected to your sport. And I know I'm speaking to a lot of contest prep bodybuilders here, but even if you are doing CrossFit or powerlifting, like being so incredibly connected to how your hands feel hitting that bar, right? When you're about to do a deadlift, so for me, being a champion is a mental, physical, and spiritual connection. Physical connection we get as bodybuilders, that's easy. But if you can get your mind right and you can get your spirit right, so like, why are you competing? I think that you'll be literally unbeatable. And by unbeatable, I also mean, like, even if you get fifth place, if you get a fifth place trophy, if you are so connected to your prep and to your why and to your heart, nobody can ever take that away from you. And I know it might sound cliche because everybody's out for first. I get it. But guess what? We don't always win. In fact, with bodybuilding, expect to lose your way to the top. Because you do 7 shows, you get your pro card. You do lose another 7 shows, you get your Olympia qualification, whatever it might be. So to be a champion, it's not just about arriving. It's about traveling well. I think that's a Buddhist quote. I'm really excited that I remembered it. But it's really about going through the journey and winning every single little moment, and also picking those maybe that are like a couple steps behind you, take somebody under your wing, teach somebody a lesson, especially if it's something that you've learned that's really helped you. So a champion for me is manyfold, and it has nothing to do with the trophy that you get. The trophy that you get is a result of you being a champion. Know what I mean? Formal. Oh, what's up, Cody, Jose? What's up, guys? Does anybody have any questions? Come on, give it to me. I'm ready. I'm on fire. I had a little bit of a Red Bull. I'm ready to go. Wendy, Colleen, where you guys at? Hi, Evie, my love. Oh, okay. Should I come up with my own questions? What did I put on my posts? Type them in, unmute yourself. All right. Let's talk about anxiety. That's a big one, especially with contest prep. Nerves. Like, how many times do you hear people say, I'm nervous? How are you feeling? I'm nervous. Well, that's a shitty thing to say. Because are you really nervous or are you excited? And by you saying that you're nervous, you're kind of giving the other competitors power. So just like before with the comparison game, stop comparing. Nervousness is not a thing. And if you're feeling nervous, let's say you're 10 weeks out, 8 weeks out, and you are nervous as shit. Let's say it's your first national show. And you're like, man, the stage is big. The competitors are big. Everybody's lean. And you're feeling nervous. Well, here's how to get rid of that. Use the nerves as fuel, period. If you feel nervous, get on that fucking stepper and go. Because when you are done with your stair stepper session, you will feel so much better and so much less nervous. And sometimes when we're feeling nervous, maybe it's because we cheated on our diet. Maybe we were a little lazy and we're thinking that somebody's outworking us. Well, if you know that you're working harder than anybody ever, then there's no reason to be nervous because you're putting the energy into the universe and it's going to come back. Plain, simple. All right, Cass, how to conquer cardio with ease. Oh, I love this one. Okay. I'm going to go Jedi mode on you guys really quick. So there are 2 ways that we can do cardio. You can do cardio because you're afraid to lose, or you can do cardio because you love to win. Same 45-minute cardio session, very different results. The person who is doing cardio because they are afraid to lose is probably hanging over the stair stepper, watching a YouTube video, just barely getting through their cardio session. Well, if you only have 45 minutes on the cardio machine, you better make sure that you make the best of that, because your competitor might be closed eyes visuals on stage, visioning their prep, visioning their final product, and you're sitting there watching somebody else's YouTube video. I don't know about you, but for me, that was just like giving too much power to somebody. And And like, if you think about it like this, like you only have 45 minutes, not like, oh my gosh, 45 minutes of cardio, but you only have 45 minutes to burn that amount of fat. Hopefully you're killing every single second. Because if you're not, somebody else is. And for me, that was how I absolutely loved cardio, was because I wanted to win, not because I was afraid to lose, but because I wanted to win and I wanted to be the best that I could be. And closing your eyes during cardio is probably one of the craziest experiences, especially if you are on the stepper, because you can kind of hold on and stand up straight, make sure your spine is good, and like let your body just do the mechanics. I encourage you, close your eyes, put on Fearless Motivation on Spotify. They're amazing. And it's basically like a motivational speech and somebody yelling at you that's like, get up, and like screaming at you. If you close your eyes and you're doing your cardio and you are getting ready for your show and you have all of this emotion, all of this pent up energy going into it, you will almost be in your own YouTube video, your own motivational YouTube video. And it's very hard to stop when you're the one on camera. So I encourage you to just go within, put on some awesome songs, some awesome motivational speeches, and like get after it. Like actually really enjoy it and know that every step you take is getting you one step closer to striated glutes and a striated tricep and really awesome abs. So step like your life, not your life, your show depends on it. All right, Cody, how to beat a mental block, even not in contest prep, just in general. In the gym more often and then not. I get in my head and it kills my mood and workout. Always too hard on myself. Yeah, easy. Yeah, we are so always harder on ourselves than we need to be. But that also makes a good athlete. So it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. I'm curious about your mental block. So like dig deep into what is the mental block that's happening. More often than not, you get in your head. Right there, boom. You get in your head and it kills your workout. Get out of your head and into your body. Your head doesn't do anything. Doesn't help. It kind of just gets in the way, because it might be one of those things where you're like, thinking yourself into not going to the gym, or I'm not big enough. I lost all this size. I'm not. And then of course there comes a mental block. And why would you want to train after all of those thoughts are going through your head? So if that's the kind of stuff that's going in your head, maybe change your thought pattern a little bit. Have your mind get on the same team as your body instead of kind of fighting against it in a way. So yeah, mental block. Get out of your mind and into your body until your mind starts to drive you again. Does that help? Oh, who else? Suzanne, Colleen, anybody else got some questions? Cody, did that even answer your question? Yeah, okay. Oh, I had somebody else, how to pick a show. So somebody asked me if she was she said that she felt like she was too small for figure, and maybe not, or too small for physique and maybe not big enough for figure. That's not where her heart is. I love this question so much. And this applies for all divisions. If you are, and this is my rule of thumb, because I personally don't think that bodybuilding is, we're not just in it for trophies, right? We're in it because we love to pose on stage. We love to be in heels. We love to be in a sparkly bikini or guys in posing trunks. Like there's something about bodybuilding that we love, and it doesn't have to just mean the trophy and the placement that you get. And if you're in the sport just for first places and just for trophies, you're in the wrong sport. So I hear this so much when people are so concerned about size and they're like, I need to get bigger before I get on stage. And this is one of those things that really irks me. And it's something that I love to talk about, because even if you're bodybuilding, or let's say you're in men's physique and you want to do classic physique and you think that you're not big enough, well, here's a couple things for you. I encourage you to start and get ready right now. Even if you feel like you're not big enough, even if you get up on stage and you get third and you don't get first, big deal. You got up on stage and accomplished something that people never in their lives will do. So number one, just jump in, because all of the lessons that you learn about peak week, about posing, about contest prep, you can learn those before you're big enough. Like, don't wait till you're big enough and then learn all of these elementary lessons, right? Learn them now so that when you're big enough, everything is polished, everything is perfect. You get up on stage, you're big enough, your mind game is good, your posing game is good, your peak week game is good, everything is in line. And I also want to mention going into a division that makes you feel like you. If you're in figure and you want to throw up a front double bicep, take off the heels and start posing, my friend, right? Because we're not, if you, cause like doing figure and getting first place, great. That's wonderful. But if your heart is not totally in it and you still don't get to do your front double bicep on stage, to me, that's heartbreaking. To go through 16 weeks of prep and get up on stage and not present the package that you fully want, like not present what's really in your head. Why even start the 16-week prep in the first place? Just so you can get a trophy that you really don't actually feel that good about? Why are you competing in the first place? Right? So in my opinion, I say start before you're ready. Jump in, learn all of the lessons as soon as you possibly can, because you're going to want to learn those lessons when your body's ready. Right? You don't want to get up on stage being super big, super lean, everything physically is good, and you don't know how to pose and you quarter turn to the left. That would be a hard lesson, my friend, because we quarter turn to the right if you didn't know that. So I say, go, jump in, get ready, and do the division that you want to do. Listen, and size is not the only thing on stage. Like, there is so much more to competing than just being big enough. There's shape, there's conditioning, there's presentation, there is so many things. And if you just wait till you're big enough and you don't have any of the other stuff, you're going to lose, period. Bodybuilding is a subjective sport. They don't come out there and measure your body fat. They don't measure your biceps. They look at you top to bottom. And if you can't present yourself, you're not going to win. Even if you're the best body and you turn a little bit off and you can't see your big, shoulders, bye. The girl who can present herself and comes out stage like, yes, queen, is going to take that every time. And same goes for guys too, especially for guys. Like, I see so many men's physique guys who look amazing, but then they get up on stage and they pose weird. And I don't know men's physique posing, but I know when it looks bad. I know when it looks wrong, or like they haven't practiced it. And like, please don't waste years of trying to get bigger and trying to get ready, because that's just not how bodybuilding is. And like, God, it just breaks my heart to think about people spending years to get big and ready for a show. And then they get up on stage and it's not what they thought it was going to be. So get on stage, start learning the lessons, like right now. Hire a coach before you're ready. Fuck it. Get up on stage chubby. I did. I was 19. Your girl was chubby. I don't know who let me on stage or thought that was okay. Yeah, look at the picture. I just posted it on the Get in Line one. I was fat because I was eating Reese's. But had I not jumped in and learned that lesson when I was 19, then, like, who knows what that next show, guess what? I got first. I learned real quick. I was like, all right, spilling out of my suit. You just get embarrassed. Like, I think Gary Vee says fuck up on purpose. I say that too. Get up there and just embarrass yourself. And if you can come back after an embarrassment, then you're going to triumph. This is what the sport is about. Okay, I love my coach, but for those who do not have one yet, how to pick a coach, what to look for. Thank you, Cass, for all your questions. How to pick a coach. This is such a great thing. Like, red flags. Okay, first of all, if you're peeping a coach and you want to pick one, message their other athletes. Like, kind of like go behind your coach's back, but it's okay because you're not hired them yet. But like, how is their experience? Like, what is their, and I guess, nobody's going to give specifics, but if somebody's like, yeah, I have 0 carbs, or I'm doing keto, I'm sorry, but I don't believe in keto diets for bodybuilding. That's just me. I've tried it. But if they're like, I'm doing keto and I'm doing 3 hours of cardio a day, red flag, run. Okay, thanks, bye. But if you talk to somebody and they're like, oh my gosh, I love my coach, and maybe you talk to them and they still sound feminine, like they have the look that you want, and then reach out to them and see if their experience with that coach is good. But you really want to look at their Instagram. And now the great thing about social media is everybody's on blast. All their competitors, look at how shredded they are. Look at how happy they are. That's a huge thing, because you can have a good coach, but they can be an asshole and totally ruin your experience. So that's what I would also hate to happen, because that will make you stop competing for good, is to have a shitty coach. Now, picking a coach is so important because your metabolism also depends on it, and so do your hormones. I have seen girls mess up their thyroids without ever having taken T3. And that's because their coach put them on no food and tons of cardio, and now they can never lose weight again. I mean, that's dramatic, but you know what I mean. So there are a bunch of red flags with coaches, and picking the right coach is absolutely important. And the biggest thing is trust. If you have a coach right now and you have 80%, even 85% trust in them, find another coach. You have to have literally every single amount of trust in your coach that you can. Like when they say do cardio, you say how hard. Not how much, not, oh, well, I'm going to do 35 minutes or I'm going to do 45 because I don't trust in my coach. Absolute trust in your coach is what you need, because they're going to be controlling your food, controlling your workouts, controlling your cardio. So you better make sure that everything they say, you bow down to them. And for me, I could never have a friend coach me because I have to have a little bit of fear. I have to be a little bit afraid of my coach and the check-in process and the whole thing, because if I'm not, it's very easy for me to deter myself. So I have to, number one, trust my coach with everything that I have. And number two, have some fear and respect in your coach, because if you don't, it's going to be easy for you to try to like really suck it in during check-ins. So yeah, picking a coach is everything. And listen, even if you have to break up with a coach, I had to break up with a ton of coaches in my bodybuilding career, because I found one coach at the gym and they were great for my first show. Great. They took me under their wing. Thank you very much. And then I had to up level. And, because for one thing or another, I found a better coach, or maybe I lost trust in my previous coach, or, whatever the case may be. But if you're feeling 99% sure about your coach, find another coach. It needs to be 100. Yes. What else? What else can we go over? Oh, Jose, advice on creating a fun routine. I've done several shows, but I feel like I struggle creating a more fun interest. Yes, for Open BB. Yes, yes, yes. Posing, my favorite thing. Okay. Great question, Jose. Thank you. So I think first and foremost, it comes to picking your song. And picking your song, I think, needs to be an emotional experience. And it needs to happen during contest prep, not before contest prep. And try not to pick a coach or a song that you think is cool, that you think the audience is going to like, that has your ego in it, because a song that you think is cool is not really fun to post to. Like, the emotion isn't in it. I suggest listening to songs during your contest prep, the one that gives you goosebumps, the one that makes your eyes water, that's your song. And sometimes that emotion has to get developed through a contest prep, maybe 6 weeks into the prep when shit starts to get a little bit hard and gritty, So I think first, choosing your song with emotion, not coolness, not your ego. And when you do that and you're posing, that will translate to the audience. You will give the audience goosebumps. They don't care if you're posing to friggin' like Tupac or NF or anything like that. You could be posing to Celine Dion and the whole audience is crying. That is the effect that you want. That's what people are going to remember. They're not going to remember the top 40 song that you chose. For me, if it didn't make me cry, it wasn't my posing song. And there were many times on stage where I was sucking back tears because that. And so for me, creating a fun routine first starts with the song, and then it starts in your head. There might be like a huge break in the song, like Celine Dion or whoever might just like rip it, right? And that's, what does that pose look like? And that might be the awesome front double bicep. It might be the Frank Zane, it might be something like that. And then start with that pose, even if it's in the middle or the end, and start to build your posing routine around that pose. And then as you start to go into, your cardio sessions and your visualizations, start to do all the physical rehearsals and put the rest of the posing routine together in your head. That's what I always used to do on the cardio machine, stepping my life away. I would be putting together my posing routine, and then I would go into a racquetball court with no mirrors and practice. Because for me, it wasn't so much about how I looked in the pose, it was how I felt in the pose. And then I would go back at the end and do little tweaks, turn my knee this way, turn my elbow this way, and then it would kind of get more refined as it went on. But I think feel it. Wendy, I suck at posing routines. I got you, girl. It comes from a feeling. And I think when we, analysis paralysis, sometimes when we put too much thought into our posing routine, it actually ends up looking like somebody else's posing routine, or it doesn't flow because we're thinking too much about it. So feel it. And then Cody, tell us more about your bodybuilding masterclass. Awesome. Yes, let's do it. Okay. So, I have a recent conscious champion graduate on the class with us right now. Thank you, Cass, for joining. So, the course is designed to connect you mentally, physically, and spiritually to your sport. We go over all aspects. It's a 12-week masterclass, and it's designed to help you get connected as a champion. So as I described it in the beginning, and this can be for totally new people who have never stepped on stage once in their life and they want to know what to expect, or this can be for seasoned veterans who want a different approach to bodybuilding and they know they can get more out of their contest prep experience. So last go around, I had a couple IFBB pros with me, and one of them said it was the best 12 weeks of her life, which of course I was like super honored coming from a pro who I thought was in the game for a while and knew what she was doing. She actually had the most nice things to say. And she's like, I can't wait to get back on stage with this mindset. So the way that it's set up is, mental, physical, and spiritual. I start with the spirit because that's the glue. That's what holds you together. That's your why. That's why you get up in the morning. That's why you do what you do. That's where we start, is the spirit. And this doesn't have to be, it's not a religious thing. It's more of a meditative visualization thing. The second aspect is the mental space that we're in. And that is the self-doubt, the limiting beliefs, the anxiety, the comparison game, or the positive affirmations, the visualization, all of that stuff, the meditations. And then we connect to the body. And so the body, we all know how to work out. It's that, but I'm going to approach it in a different way. I want to get your mind into your muscle. I want your workouts to be an absolutely meditative experience to where you almost don't want to stop working out. Like, it's not, the hard work is easy. So I want to get you connected to your body in a different way. And the way that the masterclass is set up, it's 12 weeks long. We're going to meet once a week as a team. And during the team meetings, we'll have guest speakers. So right now for this next class, I have a posing coach, my posing coach, Kenny Wallach. He'll be joining us, which I'm so excited about. I also have a high performance mindset coach that'll also be joining us for this time. And so I have judges come on, contest prep coaches. So I kind of get a little piece of the industry. I had someone talk about social media last time. I'm going to have someone come in and talk about the business of bodybuilding. So our team calls will be an hour long. I'll be leading it or somebody else will be leading it. And then there's also curriculum. So there's 90 video lessons from me, kind of about what we talked about today, from top to bottom contest prep. So starting out, like how to pick a show. Why do you want to compete? To your mindset during cardio, your mindset during training. We do some yoga stuff in there, some meditation and visualization practices. And then even like at the end, we talk about the night before show, the day of, life after bodybuilding, what contest prep depression, like what happens after the tanner washes off and you don't have to be shredded anymore and you've been stuffing your face for a month and now you're 30 pounds heavier. What do you do? And I know we've all done it. Out of the 25 shows I've done, I've probably done it 22 times. Now I know better. I'm teaching you better, but so it's, the curriculum, the team calls, and then a private Facebook page where we're posting our favorite cardio songs, our favorite podcasts, a bunch of just information to help our minds and all of that stuff keep going. And last time, a lot of people loved they love the community the best, like the Facebook group. A lot of people were like, yo, the connections that we made with everybody in such a positive way, like in such a non-comparison, uplifting, encouraging type way, which I don't even know that I saw that coming. I was just like, here's a spot for all of us to get on. But in the sport of bodybuilding, where it tends to be a little more selfish, nothing wrong with that. But it's nice to have other people who are being selfish with you that understand what you're going through to lift each other up. And bodybuilding is kind of a different sport in that regard. I love Kenny. He's the best. He'll be on, and me and Kenny are like really good friends. So he'll be on doing live posing with us. And that'll be a really good time too. Like, how do you spread your lats? Because if you're like me, it looks like this for a while. I was lifting my shoulders. So I just threw up my master class on all of you. I'm sorry about that, but I get really excited because I've never felt so purposeful in my life. Even more so than when I was on stage. Because when I was on stage and I asked myself, why am I doing this? The only thing I could come up with was because I think I can. I think I can be the best in the world. And that got me pretty freaking far, right? But now, why am I doing this? It's because I want to serve. I want to give back to the bodybuilding community, and I want to help your contest prep experiences be like my last 3 were. I don't want you to have to go through 20 shows to actually really enjoy and get the most out of this thing that we're doing here. So my why and my purpose is so much bigger now than it ever has been. Take a deep breath. Yes. So just realized I've been talking fast for a while. Do you guys have any questions? Or Angel, do you have anything? I know we were emailing back and forth a little bit today. Feel free to unmute, guys. We can talk now.
No, can you hear me?
I can perfectly.
Okay. No, just thank you for taking the time out to do this. I mean, I think it was very helpful for me, especially because, it's first, like I told you on the email, this will be my first show. So I'm super excited. Training hard. I've always been in a workout type of person. So I've been at my heaviest to where I am now. So had high blood pressure. So, fitness has become a total lifestyle change for me here over the years. So I just appreciate you taking the time out to do this. And I will we will connect. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yes, that makes me thank you so much for jumping on and giving me the opportunity to talk with you about this. And I'm so excited to connect, and we'll talk one-on-one a little bit more so I can get to know, your story and all that stuff. And speaking of talking one-on-one, I put my scheduling link in the description, in the chat box. So grab that or book a spot on my calendar for next week. The next masterclass starts on 6/6/2020. And yes, it's in alignment. It has to be. So book a call. I'm doing connection calls now, and there's only a couple spots left. Last time I had about 13 in the class, and I only want 15 because I want to personally know everybody. This is not about get as many people as I can. This is about connection and intimacy and helping you guys compete the best you can. So yeah. So grab that link, put a spot on my calendar, and let's connect. I would love nothing more than to hear more about you and your stories. And Cody, I have a friend who doesn't want stage, but he wants similar goal feeling. How to go about that? I have a friend who doesn't want to step on stage, but wants a similar goal and feeling. Oh gosh, it's almost easier for people who don't actually step on stage because there's never that like yo-yo. Like now that I'm not competing anymore, I'm very much here with my food. But sometimes when you get so dialed in for stage and you have this one show day in mind, it can create this like yo-yo and this up and down deal. So he might actually be in a great spot to what about like fitness modeling? Like, you can do fitness modeling and do photo shoots and stuff like that without having to step on stage. And then from that, he actually might want to step on stage and get the bug. But, I would say that, the similar goal and feeling is a feeling of accomplishment. So, and it's like accomplishing that day. So if he doesn't want to step on stage, we have to think about something else to measure, whether that might be a body fat percentage or getting ready for a photo shoot or doing something. Because with bodybuilding, it's like this big, huge lead up. And that's like that feeling, that goal and that feeling. So maybe pick something else, even if it's like a wedding or a photo shoot, maybe a trip, a vacation that you want to be super shredded. That can give you the same feeling. But I will be honest with you, without a show date, it's very hard or without something to shoot for, like a date, it's very hard to stay on track. So if your friend is really good at staying on track without having a show date planned, then I would say, totally go for that. And just, you have to measure something and have some sort of day or measurement or something. Yeah, because it's also that feeling of accomplishment when you step on stage. Like, it's your reward. That's not the end all be all. That's your reward for all the hard work that you've done. And you get to show up in your whatever you're wearing and flaunt it on stage. So yeah, so we got to give your friend some sort of reward that he can get. Does that help? Yeah. Okay, cool. Anybody else? Questions? Yes, it's hot in these dreads. Yes. And as far as like, if you guys are worried about like payment or whatever for the Conscious Champion class, I know that COVID just hit everybody. So there are nice payment plans set up, which everybody has been totally taken advantage of. So I don't want finances to be a reason why we cannot work together. I'd rather extend your payment plan out longer just so you can be a part of the course, especially if this is information that you think is really going to help you. Because, and if you need a little bit more proof, go to my Facebook, check out the testimonials on my Instagram, and just see what people are saying. And it's so amazing because it doesn't have that much to do with bodybuilding. They're like, this perspective and this mindset and all of this awareness that you've given me has bled out into every area of my life. And bodybuilding will do that if you let it. Like, if you let bodybuilding be your greatest teacher, it'll carry over into business, fitness, your family, everything that you're doing. So, and that's what I want to teach you. Okay. Does anybody have anything else to say? If not, oh, Jose, what are my favorite books? Good question. Okay, so first and foremost, The Secret got me turned on to the law of attraction. And then I was like, okay, I'm in. this thoughts become things thing I'm starting to think is a real thing, not something Kai Greene just said. So when I read it and watched the movie, I really understood it. And then the numbers started coming everywhere. So The Secret for me, I love A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. That you can even watch a book club on YouTube with him and Oprah. Let's see. What do I have right here? I have The Power of Now, right here close to me. The Biology of Belief, Think and Grow Rich. Okay, Think and Grow Rich is not just about money. It's about thinking your things into existence. So I really like the personal development type books. And the next book that I'm going to get, I'm pissed that I haven't ordered it yet, is called Monk Mindset by Jay Shetty, I love him. Called Monk Mindset. So it essentially, and that's what I think, in a way that I developed through bodybuilding. And, that helps with the comparison game and all of that kind of stuff too. So my next love is Monk Mindset. Marley, do I do competition coaching? So I actually don't write diets or cardio or anything like that. I'm more so into the mental aspects and into the soul, into the spirit. I will tell you how to make your food taste good. I will tell you how to make your cardio better than your competitors, but I don't want to do the math. Like, leave that. And there are some contest prep coaches out there that is their genius. I don't want that. I don't want to do the math. I want to do the mental. I want to do the emotional part. So I'll help you do the stuff that your coach tells you how to do better than your competitors, but I don't want to tell you actually what to do. Okay. Oh, sorry, love. I can turn you on to some really awesome prep coaches though. Like, I'm in a great circle with my coaches, some of my best friends that are coaches, and I can get you hooked up with people that are amazing and that I trust. Share a favorite recipe. Okay. Well, I mean, who doesn't like protein pancakes, right? Protein pancakes are pretty awesome, but if protein is cut out of your diet, which hopefully, it is closer to show. I used to really like to make an egg white omelet and I would do egg whites with green beans, French green beans, burnt in a pan. Thank you very much. Yes, burnt green beans, burnt in a pan with egg whites and like salt and pepper. But then I would put that on a rice cake and then eat it like it was a little like toast omelet thing. And right now for my protein shakes, I really love frozen bananas and chocolate protein. It's AKA nice cream. If you put a little bit of milk and let the frozen bananas blend, it's literally ice cream. You're welcome. Or a Frosty. Marley, yes, let's definitely talk after this. I'll send you a message on Messenger. I love that. Here we go. Now you guys are awake. Oh, I'm just kidding. Okay. Well, I guess that's all I have to say. You guys know where to find me: Instagram, Facebook. I'll check my messages in the next couple days and take that link and book a call with me if you want to save your spot for the masterclass. Again, it starts on 6/6 and I'm really freaking excited about it. Okay. I love you guys so much. Thank you again. I don't want to take up any more of your time. Cody, thank you for joining. I appreciate it, guys. Colleen, thank you. Okay. Feel free to pop up if you want. I
Thanks,
won't.
Danny. It was a pleasure to meet you. This is super cool that you did this, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose. It was super awesome to meet you too. So nice to see you pop on here. Oh, let's talk, definitely. And I'll be doing this again probably next week. So jump on if you think of more questions. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming, Katie. Bye, Evie. Bye, Suzanne.